Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to Let's Talk About It. I'm your host, Ron Cunningham, and I have some news that you can use today. First of all, I'm going to talk about voting. One of the things you need to know is you have to be 18 years old and registered to vote. And voting is a very important thing. That's how we preserve our democracy, through voting. And who should you vote for? That's up to you. Research the candidates. Find out what they stand for. Are they morally corrupt? Are they good people? Do they stand for the same things you want them to stand for? That's what you got to ask yourself. And by the way, people who tell you that your vote don't count is foolish. Just totally foolish, because your vote means something. If voting wasn't important, why would all the people with money be spending millions of dollars to get into office? Voting is a very, very important thing. And that is the American way. That's how we preserve our democracy. If you don't vote, then you're going to be the joke. Vote like your mama, life depending on it. Vote like your grandmama, cherry pie is going to be good, and she's going to have to stop making it if the right person don't get in office. They control a large part of your life. So remember, vote like your life depended on it. That's a very important thing. Now, if you don't know where you got to vote at, call the Board of Elections. They're the people who control the voting, who pull out the machines and everything else. The numbers for voting is in Lockport. The Board of Elections is located in Lockport. That's who you have to call if you don't know where you got to go to vote. The numbers are 716-438-4041 or 716-438-4040. Those are the numbers you call if you have any questions about your voting rights. Now, many people at one time in this country couldn't vote. At one time, the only people in this country who could vote was people who were wealthy and who held land. That's changed now. Now, every American has the right to vote, as long as they're registered. The early voting took place from October 26th to November 3rd. You can go early voting. And over 32,000 people, Mr. Rocco, voted this year, early voting, over 32,000, which was very good for Niagara County. This year is a very contentious race. We're having the assembly race, we're having the presidential race. I'm not picking any favorites. I'm just telling you, exercise your right as a citizen to vote. You understand that? It's your right. People died in this country for the right to vote. So now that you have the right, utilize it. Utilize your right to vote. And I want you to know one thing right now. The people who sacrifice their life to vote, let's not make that sacrifice in vain. At one time, women couldn't vote. That's right. Men had the right to vote way before women. And you know what? Women's vote is going to be powerful this year. It's going to be powerful because they are coming out. You know what I mean? We have quite an election coming up. And November 5th is a general election. Polls are open from 6 o'clock a.m. to 9 o'clock p.m. If you're a minute late, you won't be able to vote. So make sure you come between 6 o'clock and 9 o'clock. Our job be a little earlier than 9 o'clock p.m. It's very important that you vote. I'd like to see all souls to the polls. All souls to the polls. It ain't no game. Don't be lame. Get to the polls and vote. If you don't, it's going to be shame on you. Now, I want to say one thing to you. This has been the most expensive election in the history of America. The most expensive election. Because when whoever wins, it's going to be very, very powerful. And we have a presidential election coming up. We have a assembly election coming up. Some Senate elections coming up. I've already voted. And a lot of people came out to vote too, and I'm very happy. Because that means that we're concerned about what's going on in our country. In our city, our state, and our country. And remember one thing. If you don't vote, don't write. Remember that. If you don't vote, don't gripe. Now, some people may not vote because of religious reasons, and I understand that. I have nothing to say about that. But those who can vote and don't, who can vote and won't, and complain all the time, go somewhere and sit down, relax yourself, because you're not any help to America. Remember, your vote counts. And I want all the polls all the souls to the polls. It's a very important thing. And the young people, there's a lot of things that affect you coming up. Make sure that you understand what the deal is and who does what, when and where. So I want you to know that this show is produced and directed by Mr. Rocco Strangio's media class. Very intelligent young men and women in this class. They have a floor director, they have a timekeeper for me and everything else. And I think that that's wonderful. And we have some good equipment in this building too. I'm broadcasting right now from the Black Box Studio. And the bell is ringing, so some of the students are heading out, and they're doing it very quietly. So we have some good students here at Niagara Falls High School, good teachers, good students, and guess what? It's a good place to be. So that's what I wanted to say to you today. Do not find anything to overshadow your right to vote. Get on out, get on up, and hit them polls, because let each one reach one. Each one reach one, so you can get to them polls and vote. It's important. It's important. You know what I mean? So it comes down to being there between 6 and 9 o'clock p.m. And I'm telling you, ladies and gentlemen, let's get out there and vote, because that is the way we preserve our democracy. Polls are open again from 6 o'clock a.m. to 9 o'clock p.m. sharp. So make sure you're out there doing your thing. 32,000 people in Niagara County participated in early voting. That's a large number. There's a great deal of interest in this election this year. So let your vote count. We won't know nothing maybe till a couple of days after. Now, Electoral College requires 270 votes for a person to win. 270 votes. So let's see how we do. It's important that you get out and vote. It's important that you know that America is supposed to be the beacon of democracy. So set an example and give our young people, give them something to imitate. Give them something good to imitate. It's your civic duty to go out there and vote. It's your civic duty. It's not just a good idea. It's something you as a citizen are supposed to be doing. Never be too busy to vote your interests. That's important to do. Say what? What was that? Oh, you want to know why? Because that's how we preserve democracy. We are the beacon of democracy throughout the world. So that's all I have to say. And one more thing I want to say to you is, students that are registered in school, whether it be grade school, whether it be pre-K, grade school, middle school, or high school, come to school on time on a regular basis. That's how you get good moral character. You understand what I mean? Come to school. Do what you're supposed to do. If your parents get up and go to work every morning, maintain the house, making sure the lights are on, make sure the gas on, you have a warm house, your job is to come to school, young folk. Get up and go to school. Do not think that getting an education is important. It is important. It means that you have done something and accomplished something in life, like getting a high school diploma. You know what I'm saying to you? Work hard and get it, because it's going to mean something to you. The guy that you call a nerd just may be your boss one day because he stayed in school, got his education. And besides, if you were an employer, here comes a person for a job. One has a high school diploma, one doesn't have a high school diploma. Who are you really going to hire? All things being equal, I'm going to hire the guy with the paper, the high school diploma. That means he's done something in life. Well, I do want you to say that if I am 18 years old and registered, I'm going out there and vote. It's important that you vote. It's not a game. It's a real life situation. The only way you can really know that you're equal to somebody is through the voting booth. Cast your ballot. One vote, one man. One vote, one woman. That's the way it goes. So ladies and gentlemen, that's my little talk for you today. I hope you understand that the polls are over from 6 o'clock a.m. to 9 o'clock p.m. Tuesday, November 5th. That's a great day. So now, this election is so tight, we don't know when the results will be there, maybe a couple of days. The Electoral College has the final say-so. That's a group of people that, based on how the votes fall. So you got to have 270 Electoral College votes. We'll see how that plays out. It's been a nasty election, too. There's been some rough things said in the presidential election, but so be it. Don't let that stop you from casting your vote. So that's all I want to say. I want to thank Mr. Rocco Strangio and his class for producing this show, giving the opportunity to let you know that get all the souls to the polls and have a great day. See you tomorrow at the polls. Bye-bye.